Where's the music? What happened to the music? I don't have music? No sound? Oh, I know why. Because I'm using the stupid computer as a speakers. Let's try this. Yeah, that's it. Okay, let's start over again. Here we go. Hey guys, how you doing? Hey, can you hear me okay? I'm trying not to be too loud here. I'm doing this video on these Klerksdorf spheres. Have some problems with line. I probably should log out of that. Log out, quit. Yeah, line. No more line. And let's see what else I need to do before I get into this. Let's turn that off. Yeah, I messed up the sound, didn't I? That's okay. I'm back now, right? I think you can all hear me. Let's just test it out and see if you can hear me. Log out, quit. Yep, there I am. Well, I got a lot of stuff on my desktop recently. But the thing that I really want to talk about, this thing that I found in South Africa, I'm going to do a little searching live searching, because I only have enough time these days to just do it right when I'm live. Now, before I do, one of the things I got to do is get this over here. This is Ancient Insight, at Ancient Insight. So I don't know how to make it bigger on the screen. I wish I could. I also don't know how to make this my chatting turn off. I hope something inappropriate doesn't pop up, like all these little ads. I wish I need to turn that off. Ancient Insight. Now, this is one of the things I wanted to look at again on this video here. If you notice, it's 8:23 p.m. Tuesday night. The date is March 23rd. Now, this picture here, I'm convinced is walls made from intelligent beings. I'm not sure if they're men or aliens. I don't know anymore, because I've been posting these things I've found in the same neighborhood. These things that totally look like they're made by man. Okay, I shouldn't say man. I should say by intelligent beings. Now, I know that it's kind of hard to see with these pictures, but there's a link. These are the 90-degree juxtaposed walls. These are the grooves that are left behind by some type of a ancient wall or road. This is kind of this must be a crater, right? If it's not a crater, what is it? It's a crater. All right. This is something random over there by the richat structure. These are all richat. This is not. This is South Africa. And I wish I could make it even bigger. Let's see if I can do that. Can I make it bigger? I don't think so. Oh, that will make it bigger. All right, let's go back and look at everything one more time really big. Go from the beginning. We'll go all the way to the beginning of what I've got in Ancient Architects. Okay, this is the last thing I did. Now, these are... thank you. So this is like... some type of a groove that's, I say, intelligent, and there's this other one right here next to it. I left the link in there, Ancient Architects. This one's like some type of a triangle. I don't really know what's going on. There looks like there's some other lines, so maybe it's totally random, but it's just, I see this triangle. This right here is going across this river, right? But then you've got this line. So which one's older, really? Which one's older? I almost don't know anymore. I really don't, because you would think the river's older, but then when you look at this line first, which came first, this line or the river? Maybe that line went across the river and didn't care, but I think that the river came later. There's another close-up of the same line going across rivers. Now, I can't use the word parallel, but I also can't say juxtaposed. Maybe I should. Juxtaposed. Two straight lines alongside one another, almost parallel. Here you can see these lines going through the previous. Now here it looks like the line came second. I don't know. This one looks like the line came first. You're looking at a plateau, but when you go down the plateau, down the edge of the plateau, you've got more residual evidence of that straight line. Now, I was going to show you these Klerksdorf spheres. The reason why is because of a video from Ancient... wow, what was the name of that? Architects? Maybe? And they said, where did they come from? They came right from South Africa, the seed of humanity, if you believe in the out-of-Africa theory. When you go down there and you find lines like this that seem to define the mountains... Here's another one here. It's going across. It's going all the way up. You have to click on the link if you want to explore it more detailed. I just wonder which range is older sometimes. This embankment, is an escarpment from a water event, a shoreline, might you say. And then here on this side, a shoreline again? Why does that happen so close? Was this not more of an ancient mine? And these grooves that follow these roads, you can see what's older here. The road is definitely young. And this river that went through it, looks like it went through it again, or it stopped here. It hit the wall. This groove, this ancient road, whatever it was, wall or groove, just makes me... Yeah, get out of there. Makes me wonder, how old is it? How old is it? That's what I want to know the most. Look at this. The road goes through. You can see they filled it in with stuff. This ditch, this groove. And these juxtaposed 90-degree mountains. So, and one of them turns into one of those grooves. So the mountain turns, and it's almost a perfect 90 degrees here and over here. And you see this turns into a groove and goes on for miles. That's that crater. I don't want to talk about that right now. This is something similar up in the richat structure area in North Africa, Northwest Sahara, or I should say Western Sahara, Southwestern really. Here you can see this line going through the mountain. You've got these weird angles over here and some type of I call it mining activity, burrowing out these areas here. This grid that was created by some ancient terraforming community saying this is what we want to get into right here. And they're up there doing this. I can show you several examples of this. That's up there by the richat. This is some other small things in the richat. But this is back down in South. This is South Africa right here. It's kind of on the edge. This is right at the edge. South Africa's down here, and Lesotho's up here, and over here on the left is South Africa. Over here on the right is Lesotho. And this thing, this creation, it's parallel lines go down into some type of a smelting pot. And you can see it was breached by flooding, but before that you had this line that went across. How old is that thing? You know, it goes all the way across through the downtown. I even looked at this on the, this guy right here, whatever that thing's called, the street view. Although it shows a man, it's a street, and you can see some very interesting features as you go between these two mountains over here. Check them out for yourself. Check my older videos. There's another one where it's parallel lines going together. It's very hard to see, but you can click on the link and follow them. To me, that might be one of the oldest. And you can see it here. And you can see some lines over here. I got confused, but the one I'm showing off is here in the center. Now, I've shown this before. This didn't sum up to much. This is up in Morocco. Back into Lesotho, South Africa, these grooves going through. I mean, I am not a geologist, but when I see a groove cutting through a mountain like that, the question is, which is older, the groove or the mountain? And the groove is turning into these roads. They're like 90-degree roads. They're grid roads, even though they're not perfect. They're some type of a grid off where they have used it. I think maybe a road. I believe this is land reclamation, ancient land reclamation happening in Canada. And this is Canada as well. This old road. To me, it looks ancient, but we really don't know. It's by an oil field. There's more of it right there. It seems like something was going on there. The thing, though, that gets me about this is that the road is more ancient than the river. The road is more ancient than these little lakes that it crosses. You can see it happening. Still, could it be just a few hundred years old? That's the question. I don't know about few hundred. This is something back down in Lesotho Mountains. These weird water holding things. This is just look at some of the farming that goes on there and the way it changes the color. And I think that's the key to some of this, but I haven't figured it out quite yet. I just feel like when you see this brown color, either it's really, really old or it's really, really young. Like they've just put fertilizer on top of it and they're waiting for the rain or something. It seems like you can see some of these mountains go over the terraforming. I'd like to take a close look at this one. I've gotten my my negative feedback on this, saying they're just landslides. And that does look like a path. I don't think it looks like a landslide that's happened anytime recently, but the terraforming seems to go underneath a landslide. Or how old is this? Which is newer, the terraforming or the mountain ridge, which is a nice parallel two lines. These lines are like 30 yards across. Here's some weird, like, that's why I thought the dark brown was actually kind of old, because of the way it's working next to these trees. Now maybe they did their tilling right up against the forest, but it looks like some fresh tilling. Just some random pictures I grabbed. Here's some more roads, and you can see the grooves that cross through the mountains. I don't have any explanation for those yet. No geological explanation. No geologist has said anything. You've got this big crevice that has been dug away from these mountains. I feel like it's mining activity of some sort, or they're just grabbing the dirt. They're just grabbing the dirt and processing it. We're talking about 30, 40, 50, 100,000 years ago. These are just some pictures I grabbed. That one is this weird nub that seems to appear next to these grooves sometimes. I can find a bunch of examples of that. And then these lines, even though they're not perfectly parallel, are side by side following one another. There's another one of these nubs. Every one of these pictures has a link. This is 19 meters across. 19. It does. You say that's a road, and there's no car that's 19 meters across. So what is it? They're not tire tracks. And these are these really weird mountains where they're just piled up, like some type of a weird goo was just released into a pile, like mud, just piled up. Sorry about the microphone. I just think it's so bizarre, you know. I'd like to zoom in on this one. I guess I can to a certain extent. This is Facebook's. Oh, look at that. That's interesting. What's that? That's interesting. That looks just like one of those, what do you call them? Tumuli. Oh, I better turn this thing shut here. So, as you can see, what it looks like is one of those, what we call them, Eyes of Africa tumulus right here. It's kind of weird. I don't know which way that is. Let's zoom back out and take a look if we can see. Oh yeah, we're perfectly north there. That one's going perfectly north. I never really saw that. They're always going to the west. But these mountains are interesting. You know, these lines, they go all over this area. Up in the mountains. I mean, what it looks like is some type of a weird... I mean, how does a mountain like that form naturally? And what you've got is angles. So many angles. There's one that's going... Oh, that's actually... If you look at that, that is not perfectly north-south. So that would be north is going this way. So this line here is going perfectly east-west. That looks like it could be a fence anyways. So this line here is going north-south. And this line here is going perfectly southeast. And this line here is going perfectly southwest. It's just a perfect little angle. It seems it's not possible to be done. I think we should measure those. Although, at the same time, when you get away from it, it does seem like it could be some type of a natural thing. You've got the old mountain coming through here, so I really don't know what's going on with these colors. Like, they don't have a lot of liquid, no water up there at the top of the mountains to keep them nice and green. I mean, you can go visit this yourself, please. Check it out. All these links are on there. That's the richat structure. That's Antarctica. This is the richat area. One of the meteorites up there by the richat. And that's another one that's way, way north, up almost up in Morocco. So this one's kind of a southwest, and this one is definitely northeast. It's like a string of pearls. That's just the richat, something sticking through the richat, but the same type of weird ancient walls. Oh, that's natural, man. That's natural. That's perfectly natural. Going miles and miles is not natural. That's all man-made. This is definitely man-made. This isn't so special. I don't know if it's ancient or what. I don't know what this is. A lot of work in the sand, that's for sure. Now this, I see these roads here, but then this is that weird dam, or I'm not sure what it is. We got. Oh wait, this is the second one. See this right here? Okay, recently I got a bunch of links from a guy, and this looks like one of them, but I think this is the one that's in the in the dry lake bed north of the richat. It just looks so different. Maybe this is actually a different one. Maybe I found this from another source. Yeah, I think I found this from another source. No, maybe this is him. Maybe this is him. So these are some weird lines that I got from those links. Just feel like they're a little more too far in the past when I linked those up. I call that the trident. This is all up in the richat. Now we're back down here in South Africa. These lines going through the mountains. What's older, the mountain or the line? How does a mountain form on top of a line and then actually get affected by it in the future? This is what I want to know. This is why I'm asking this question. We find a lot of these. That's Canada. Here's the other one that's just similar to that same thing. Was it the same one? Maybe it was the same one, just a different view or something. I called this the Star of Adam in the beginning, but now I don't know what it is. It seems like these colors up here all belong to the desert. That right there is South Africa. This ridge right here, very, very wiggly and jiggly, right? Why did it occur? Why did this form this way? Ask a geologist. You've got yourself one of those nubs along this mountain ridge. Beginning to think that these mountains, and by the way, you can't tell me that this thing here is natural. I mean, that didn't occur naturally. I have no problem believing that. And you got these parallel lines going through here and here. This road happens to be parallel to this natural thing. I don't think so. That has a groove right there in it. That was one of the ancient grooves. And the groove goes across this way. So there's a perpendicular line here and a perpendicular line here. And you've got this other line here. It's kind of different and more jagged and maybe older. But you've got that groove that just looks, it's just peeking up. Connect the dots and create a straight line that's perpendicular to everything else. This goes on and on and on in this whole area. Explain it to me, please. Now this right here, oh, what happened? I zoomed in too much? Okay, what did I skip? I zoomed over some stuff. So there's that. We just looked at it. And then there's this. Kind of the same thing going on here, right? Plateaus with bisecting perpendicular lines going through it that seem to be gridding off some type of a pattern of some type of a mining that went on in here. There's some type of a gathering up and removal of content here and here. It's very perpendicular. And you can see it happening here, 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 and here. So you've got 5 sides, and between each road you've got this gathering of material that occurred. And this road goes on and on and on. You just follow the link and see for yourself. This is like a triangle that exists out in the middle of the mountains. And here you can see a line that goes across an escarpment. The only way that escarpment could have been created is by some type of a flood event, a water event. However, you've still got this mountain going across it. And if you look at this, go to the link and check it out for yourself. You can see that there's 3 of them that are all doing the same thing in different angles and connecting each other. And you can't say that's some natural event that just happened to flood and make a this is not a flood, I'm sorry, this is a dam going across some, it starts right before this line, it stops right after this line. You can see an X here, a line going through, and you can see that the cliffs have followed that X. Now here we're getting close to the mountain that goes straight north and south, right there. And you can see these angles here. These are mountains. Now I wanted to click on this one, so let's go here and is it here? Let's click on it. Let's hope I found it. I didn't find it. Okay, so I got to scroll down and get it. Sorry about that. We're gonna look at everything twice. It's gonna take a minute. Sorry about that. I don't have any comments. Thank you for your comment. I think I found it. Is that it? Right there? Yeah. And here's the link. Let's link it up. This one, I wanted to look at a few more. Google Earth is here. You can click on these links. You can check them out for yourself. Here's a few more I did the same day. We'll just go through them real quick. I was finding them left and right, you know. And these mountains, why would these mountains look like this? And suddenly get disintegrated, but then come back. The mountains are older than the floodplain. That's a pretty big floodplain. Look at this one, the parallel lines that occur here. I mean, I kind of want to zoom out and see. It's like they made this long line. It went over these mountains. It directed water. You can see that this one directed the way that there was a corrosion against this mountain compared to the way it was against this mountain. You can see an up-down one here. What is that? Is that a road or is that a fence? Going straight north-south, it may be modern day. We've got this ancient groove going through. I mean, how did that occur? That same occurrence that I was talking about before. Hey, Wayne, 1967. It's a good question. Where is it buried? Who says there's any treasure? I think this is an ancient minefield. I mean, look at this. You've got these lines going here. Look at that. This is a mountain range that's going straight in a straight direction for all these miles and making these geometric patterns. You can see the natural formations underneath it. It's just hard to tell which one is older, the mountain or the natural formation. It seems to meld together. This has this weird brown line here, some type of a weird brown line, really dark. It goes all over that and comes up here and turns into a river. What are we going to do about this, though? Wayne, 1967, nice seeing you at the poker tables earlier. I think you disappeared right before I lost, and then I lost everything. Or I lost and you were still playing, but then you lost, I think. So these look like fencing. That's fencing. I don't have a problem with that. Fencing. But these other lines in here, these are like mountains. How did that get there? How does that mountain just appear? I think some type of a major terraforming event occurred there. It's a very small ridge, and it just so happens to be intelligent. Okay, ancient groove. Here's the thing that I thought was interesting with these Klerksdorf spheres. This was on the History Channel, and they're actually theorizing that these spheres were sent from an ancient source to, an alien source to Earth. Apparently they're all over the ground and they're hollow, and some of them have these lines on them. They look like they're I shouldn't say man-made. Okay, that's the wrong way. See, that's the wrong way too. So it's kind of weird trying to figure out which way to... That's why you want to get all these random pictures off. I mean, these things are all lined up like this. Like they were just dumped there and they just fell into place. Different sizes. You break one open, what's in there? Sorry, I got my drink. Argument in the video title. What does that say? What did I say? What did I say? Argument? Argument. Oh, I did? Oh, there I see. I can change that right now, believe it or not. No problemo. Thank you for telling me. Now it's been changed. Done. Klerksdorf spheres support my ancient mining argument. Now we're going to do a little bit of online searching right now to find out where these Klerksdorf spheres are located exactly. Should I zoom in a little bit? Let's do it. I think you deserve it. It looks like there's some kind of a weird layering thing. Could they have actually been sent through space Not even in a ship? Yeah, see? I can fix it. Is that the same picture? Oh, sorry. That's not a sphere? Sorry, I had my mic muted. Well, it's spherical. Maybe it's not a sphere, but it's spherical. Check out the History Channel video. It's like 5 minutes long. I mean, it was going everywhere, and the thing was is that I was trying to figure out about where is my next picture? Let's go ahead and open up the search. Now you know my secret. No, you don't, because it didn't get put on the screen. Let's try it. Klerksdorf sphere location. South Africa. Yeah, I know, but where in South Africa? It says tiny pyrophyllite spheres from 3 billion years ago. Does that look like it's a natural thing? Is that the same one right there? Or is that a different one? Do a lot of them have these lines on them, or are they? Because I think that the lines are score lines, so they can get easily broken into halves and release what's inside. Look at that. What's that? Wow. A closer look. We should. This time I carve out all sandstone inside one of them to show you a close-up. All comments, blah, blah, blah. What's this? What was that? We go back to that one. He melts and shell out core of about 2000 Celsius. Klerksdorf spheres and Moki marbles, final chapter. So the guy's done a lot of videos. I gotta check these out. Some interesting pictures, eh? I mean, where do you think they came from? They're 3 billion years old? Doubt it. Okay, here we are. Otos Doll in South Africa. Otos Doll. The spherical objects are billions of years old, and no one has been able to fully explain the markings on their sides. Exactly. How are they dated at billions of years old? Honestly, how do they date metal at 1 billion years old? That's a good question, right? All right, we want this Otos Doll. South Africa. Otos Doll, South Africa. Did I find it? Town in South Africa. Let's go there. Well, you know, archaeology is a very boring thing. If you want to go somewhere and dig for stuff, you've got to be ready to play by the rules if you want to be recognized. Okay, where are we here? Otos Doll. Otos Doll. Okay, look at that. How close are we to So there you go. So close to the studio. Let's go to Otos Doll and take a look around. So they were just found in this small area. Otos Doll showground. Let's Topia. Let's Sopa. Let's Sopa. That's interesting, right? What's up with that? What's up with those lines? Ethan. You caught me right at the tail end. Look at that one. What's that? Otos Doll. I mean, how did they date him at 3 billion years old? That's what I'd like to know. Look at that triangle. Oh, it looks like a water. Well, I'd like to know where the digs are. They're not. They don't look like digs though. They look like some type of a weird distribution of rock, like ancient rocks, right? But they're metal. You say they're not metal? What are they? To Google it, thanks. I'll go Google it. I already had plans to, so thanks for your advice and information. But it looks like metal to me. Let's go to the wiki right now. Klerksdorf Sphere wiki page. I mean, did you just go there? Ethan, did you just go to this page, or is this something that you'd already looked at? Gavin Stone, hello. This looks like the inside of one. This doesn't look like the same thing. These things are different from those things. I mean, they have similar traits. These are in New York. Okay, so don't tell me that these are the same thing. Is that the geological explanation? Is that the ones in New York look like this? So basically, you're just gonna Google it right before talking to me. It's alright. It's alright. I need that. But instead of telling me to Google it, why don't you post the link or something? Because I haven't looked at these enough today. Actually, my original purpose for this was to go through the past stuff, but I couldn't resist talking about these, knowing that they were found. These that were found in New York, these explanation ones. FYI, these don't look anything like those. They don't look anything the same at all. Now, I have to look at these calcareous concretions, but when you're looking at these, you see a whole different ballgame. And I don't know if this is a picture of how they've been found or if they've been distributed. That's not the same thing. So, I mean, these are spheres. Those aren't spheres. That's just, it's a little bit squatted. But these are very different. And these are underneath the whole geological explanation of their origin. They say volcanic. I don't think so. This is not volcanic. You can look right at it. It looks like metal. It says iron. It says that they're made of iron and they've got iron in them. As far as I know, volcanic rocks don't have iron. They might have a little bit, but not in the same way. I went down to the archaeological dig sites in southern Taiwan and was looking at all the volcanic rocks that they had that were so old. Well, okay, that's not a perfect sphere, but I have to be honest. They're showing one on Google Wikipedia that looks metal with grooves going around it. But then you've got these grooves. These grooves are totally different. You're showing me a metal ball with grooves compared to what looks like ceramic. And here it says that they're concretions, volcanic sediment, ash. So, no, this is not the same. It doesn't explain it. I call BS on this explanation. Now, criticism on the out of place claims. We can get into this. It says perfectly round. I didn't say anything about perfect roundness. Also, these that are on the ground here, look at the one behind the hands. This one here, you can see behind the hand, the guy's picking it up. He's got these things that are on the ground. Looks like gravity's forced them into these crevices. Now, I don't call them perfect spheres, and I don't even see the rings. But what I don't see, I do see a perfect sphereness here. I wouldn't say 100% perfect, but I do see what looks like a round sphere. And there's all these examples of these. Not there, of course. That's Star Wars. This is the one that Wiki seems to be pushing. Right there. But the way they seem is when I say spherical rather than spheres. Also, I mean, the theory here, and this is the History Channel, is that these could have been some type of an ancient device to hold organisms and send them to Earth. They think it could have happened to Mars as well. Of course, I don't think humans could have done this, so it's all theoretical. Yeah, I said sphere. You know, you're too picky here. I said parallel. You understand? I also made it clear that when I said parallel, I didn't say perfectly parallel. And when I say spherical, I don't say perfectly sphere. I say spherical. Spherical. It formed in a sphere. These all formed in spheres. I don't know. Maybe these were put there by humans. I don't know anything about these. I'm trying to figure them out right now. Yeah, Ethan, we know that you tutored math, and you know that there's no such thing, but I'm still looking for words that describe what I'm looking at here. Yeah, I gotta get a hold of one there, Wayne. Sorry, I got a little bit of a bronchial issue, so I'm just coughing. Pardon me while I mute my mic one more time. No, nature's amazing, but it's not spherical, it's not parallel, and you don't have 90-degree angles like that I've shown you. Ethan, you can comment all you want and tell me how wonderful nature is, but until you tell me how these mountains were formed on top of other mountains in these straight lines, then it doesn't answer any of the questions that I'm asking. And I'm by all means not saying 100% that this is anything. I am asking questions here. You can keep saying nature's beautiful, but that doesn't answer the questions I'm putting forth here. What created these lines, these angled lines? Yeah, they're not perfect, and I never said they were perfect. You've got this typical foundations with these striations going through them. What created those parallel lines? Why are they all the same width? And why are they on top of older structures as opposed to the underlying thing? Look at this thing. Can you tell me that? Why are these everywhere? What are they? And why are they going over mountains? You can't answer that question, Ethan. You can't answer that question. Now, this brown stuff here, I think that's man-made, and it does disappear under this. So I still think it could be quite old, especially when you see the ridge go right across it and then it ends. It's just bizarre to me. Is that the ridge? It looks like it's the ridge, right? That's the ridge. And then this dark material follows the ridge. Now, I think that's man-made for sure. I think spheres can be found in nature all over the place. Ethan, look at the planet Earth. Is that not a sphere? Look at these lines all over South Africa. They go across these foundations, and then the Earth is taken away from inside the angle. I can show you again and again and again. It looks like this one came from some kind of a river's embankment, but I can show you again and again and again where you've got these two lines going across, creating an X, sometimes even perfectly perpendicular X. I can show you at least 3 of them. And then you see the dirt removed from the X. I mean, explain that to me. What are these, pyramid mountains? Look at that one. I just ran across it just now. You find them again and again and again. This whole neighborhood. You've got the Groove Ridge. Never saw these in North America. Never saw them in my neighborhood. But then again, this is a whole different continent. So this is just north of South Africa. I'm sorry, this was in South Africa, just north of Lesotho. Okay, it's not a sphere. It's not a sphere. But there are many planets that are spherical. Okay, I said spherical. And okay, how about the sun? Is the sun not a perfect sphere? Is the sun... I know that the Earth is not a perfect sphere because the equator is wider than the longitudinal ellipsis you can take from any point. But what about the sun? Is the sun not a perfect sphere? And what is the sun made out of? The sun is made out of molten magma. It's just pure fourth element. That's going to be my next video, by the way. Oh, look, I'm looking at the Earth right now. How did I get here? I think the Earth is more of a sphere than the rest of the items on the Earth. No, they're perfect spheres. They've been found. They've been found. I want to go over to the sun. I can't do it here. Oh, well. Didn't you just say that? You said, I didn't say. I'm going to read it. He says, hold on. I didn't say a sphere can be found in nature. Should I redact that one? Hold on. I didn't see a sphere. There, right there. Hold on. I didn't say a sphere can be found in nature. And then you just said at the bottom, I also didn't say there are no natural spheres in nature. So you're like me. You're asking questions. I said it again and again and again. I'm not making determinative statements here. I'm asking questions. Where's my, there it is. Now I've got 8 viewers. 8 viewers and no thumbs up. I should probably go check the page and see how many thumbs ups I got. I'm just having another drink. It's 9 p.m. I got to get up early tomorrow. I got to leave the house early. I've got something going on. I got to print some stuff. And I just rearranged my computer, so I'm going to be doing some printing, and this is all happening in a new location. I got to also make my bed, which is covered with junk. Well, I'm asking, well, you're not making any statements if you say the Earth is not a sphere. You just said there's no spheres in nature. Electromagnetism and the study of light. I was working in the fiber optic business for a while. Yeah, I know. It's not molten magma. That's true. The sun is completely different. If you want to answer that. I mean, you're not giving me information. You're just telling me what it's not. What is the sun? Okay, plasma was the word I was trying to say the word plasma. Okay, it's and it does say it's in a nearly perfect sphere of hot plasma. So I guess nearly means not perfect. 99.9997. I'm looking at your comments. Well, are there 90-degree angles in nature? Because I want you to explain those two mountains that I have already put in a video. Where are they? Are they in Lesotho? Where did those go? Got a lot of weird stuff going on here with the mapping. Look at that one. What's going on there? Completely different season. Oh, it's been a while since I think it's right there. I mean, there are different lines there too. Again, we've got the 3D mountains here. Maybe I can find it that way. What made that line? Yeah, it's definitely true that I'd like to have a geologist explain what created all these lines going all over this neighborhood. No, that's not the neighborhood that has the mountains. It's very close. Okay, I know how to find it. Wow, what's that mountain? There's a groove across it. So what's older, the mountain or the groove? Okay, where are those mountains at? I still have to go through this area a little closer and find more evidence. You can find these things all over the place, the lines going through the mountain. So does that mean that it's a ribbon? Okay, according to you, Ethan, these lines going through this bedrock are older than the bedrock. And nature's beautiful. Here's another one. What created that line going through the bedrock right there? A ribbon of material? How come they're all the same width? How come they're all 30 to 50 meters wide? They're not roads. And they're not mountains. They're not walls. And they go through a mountain and cut away the bedrock, but when they go across, they turn into a mountain. I'd like to see an explanation for that. I'm still looking for those 90-degree mountains. Hold on, they're over here. I gotta turn this thing. I know how to find them. Okay, they're right here. Right there. No? I got wrong again? Okay, I guess I'm wrong again. Right over here? Well, I'll have to follow the link. You can see it again and again. These lines going across a mountain range, having a 90 perpendicular meeting line here. It goes over there. And then you've got this stuff like all taken away on one side. The other side's left. And may I even say that it's usually the southern and the western side that's been gnawed away. Now you see it again right there. You can see that line again right there. You can see it again and again. Now, explain it. No, see, you can't say that. You don't know, Ethan. You don't know it was made. You say neither was made by ancient aliens. You don't know that. You don't know that. You can't prove that. You can't prove it. And I'm telling you again and again, you've got these crevices that are created with these lines. Some of them are not straight. Some of them are straight. Some of them seem to follow some type of a path for some reason. But then you've got this whole vacant area that looks like some type of a mining thing is. Why are they all the same? You can't say, oh, they weren't made by ancient aliens. You can't say that. You don't know, and you can't prove it. You can't prove it. You've got all the physicists on Ancient Aliens, the TV show now. They're all happy to talk. They're all happy to ask a question. Here's another one. The southern side and the western side eaten out. Okay? The southern side and the western side eaten out. All coming from the mountains going towards the middle of South Africa, the west side of this country. Yeah, you keep saying Occam's razor, but you don't make a point. You can't just quote that and not make a point from it. I said very clearly that I like to try to follow Occam's razor theory first. But when it starts to make no sense, then you have to go beyond that. This is a big city. That's a really big city. Look at that city. Wow. I don't think I've actually gone over this city before. Look at that. Right in the big city, you've got an X right on a plateau. A cross right on a plateau. So these old plateaus are sticking up. They all have these lines going across them. What created those lines? I want it from a geologist. I want to know where these lines came from and why they're 90 degree. Yeah, I know, and I referred to that. So don't tell me Occam's razor when we're already discussing whether it's natural or not. Yeah, I still didn't find the 90-degree mountains. But we can go back to the ancient insights. I mean, look at these parallel lines here. You're going to tell me I can't zoom in on that the same way. You're going to tell me that's natural. That you're going to say that's natural, Ethan? I mean, look at it. What you've got there is almost a perfect rectangle carved into the stone. Oh, that's perfectly natural. Occam's razor. No, now Occam's razor doesn't apply because those 90-degree lines right there, I'll zoom in for you because it seems like you need that. You've got it happening right here, and you have it happening right there, and it's perfectly 1,000 yards across. 1,000 yards. No, see, you're always taking it out on me. I, again, am asking questions. I don't have to make sense out of it. I call that intelligent creation, not a natural occurrence. And you're like, oh, you know, you can't. No, you can't tell me what I can't, dude. You can't tell me what I can't. I'm looking down at lines that are older than the current civilization. They're cutting through mountains. They're 90 degrees. There's a cross there that I described. There's a cross over here. It's like a grid work, ancient grid work. And it goes, by the way, it goes over into this smelting pot. So some type of a smelting pot was created at one end of this thing. Like a circle. This actually keeps going. These lines keep going. But right here, this is older than the civilization that lives there now. And it's a 90-degree angle. And this is perfect. That's perfect. And it goes right through the mountain there. So it's old. Well, you say you sound incredulous, but you still can't tell me how it answers. And you're not trying. Oh, I searched it on Wiki. Look, these lines right here, these mountains right here that I've gone through them all. I don't know if you got here at that time. These lines are pretty much, there's no such thing as a straight line in nature either. And then you've got these straight lines cutting through mountains. And it's like, oh, you sound incredulous because you're asking questions. How could this be natural? You sound incredulous. See, you're insulting me instead of focusing on my argument. And it doesn't matter how old friends we are. If you don't go to the details, then there's nothing to argue about. There's nothing to argue about here. I'll just go back all the way. How do you describe these mountains? They're not parallel because they have an arc to them, but they are very, very similarly angled and arced, and they go side by side. I know they're not exactly parallel, but I call them parallel mountains. They're all in the same direction. They're going east-west. They're at different angles. Some of them are going in this direction, but they're all following and going through. They've got rivers going through them. You can have done 10 speeches. It doesn't explain these mountains away. You're not focusing on the question here. I mean, I know that I put up a lot of pictures of stuff that's not not natural like this. I'm sorry. What I mean, my point is, I know I put up a lot of pictures of modern day stuff because if I see it and I have a question about it, this right here, I don't know if the link's on there. This looks like it was some type of a weird roadway going through the desert a long time ago up here in the richat, and it gets cut out by a lot of flooding events. You can't say, "Oh, you sound incredulous," and then not be able to explain it. Look at that, 1,000 yards across. But seeing these videos have nothing to do with the thing that you asked me to give a speech on in a new forum. I don't even know what you're talking about. I never said, "Oh, look, this is 100% proof these are aliens." I'm asking a question about this. It's 1,000 yards across, and it's the perfect rectangle. To me, that actually builds the argument that those are man-made because of the fact that it's 1,000 yards. Because I believe that those units of measurement are based on human attributes. No, I'm reading everything and I consider everything. I mean, maybe I missed something. I never claimed to be a scientist. Here's the thing. Online, on the internet, you're not able to just ask questions without getting criticized. I'm asking questions, and Ethan is criticizing me for asking those questions. Ethan, do you really feel like it's incredulous of me to ask these questions and wonder how these could be formed naturally and claim that I don't believe they are and looking at them? No. No, I don't just see what I want to see. I'm asking you questions you haven't answered. How do you explain this shape? This 1,000 yards by 1, 2, 3, 4,000 yards, almost a mile. Now, I know I can see right here, you can see it just goes off over here, like whoever was creating these. And yes, we can definitely say parallel lines here. These are parallel lines, and they're consistent for more than 2,000 yards. Almost 3,000 yards. And you're saying, "Oh, I sound incredulous." No, I'm actually putting human attributes to this. I honestly don't see how humans could have had anything to do with this, in my opinion, because I believe this stuff is more than 40,000 years old. Well, what I didn't say people. I keep saying it again and again. See, Ethan, I don't think you're hearing me because I've said it again and again. When I accidentally say by humans, what I mean is by intelligence. Yes, ET is also there. So don't just say humans. 1,000 yards makes me feel it's closer to humans than ET. But honestly, these whatever machines could have made this, if it was not natural, to me, makes me feel like it was ET more than human. There's another shot of that. There's that other structure. And you're saying that's just natural. That's just natural. Come on, Ethan. You're smarter than that. You're a math teacher. You're a math teacher. Tell me how that's natural. You've got an isosceles triangle. Now the tip gets cut off, but it's perfectly isosceles right there. And then you've got it connecting to a 90-degree perpendicular angle over here. Not exactly. It goes across and creates another triangle that's like 5 miles long. Tell me how that created. Tell me how that was created. And you're saying, "Oh, you sound incredulous. You sound incredulous." I'm talking about questions I'm asking about how these lines are formed. Okay, take that part right there, for example. Take that part right there. Let's go in as far as I can here. I can't go in very far. Now, these are very similar to those other ones that I said were the what do you call it? The final straw in the argument. These don't have dams going across them, but what they do have is they've got a line that's going through them, and which one is older? Is it the line or is it the water event? You've got that crevice right going through there like that. Is that a water event? Which came first? That's not an argument, Ethan. That is not an argument. You said it looks like a triangle, but clouds can look like bunnies. You're not making a sensible, valid argument. Why don't you make an argument out of the facts here? What you can see. You can see facts. And by the way, look at that perfect circle of trees right there. That's 100% aliens right there. That circle, that right there, that's that's aliens right there. These other lines, man-made. Okay, those look man-made. The only thing that I wonder is when they go across these crevices. But that looks like a fence. That's fence. There's something about this picture, though. I don't know why I put it up. I mean, I'm saying the same thing again and again, so I'm not going to get into each one. This is one of those gutters. This is actually quite a thin one. It was only 10 meters wide. 10 exact meters. There's a nice triangle found in the middle of the mountains. Yeah, sure, the lines don't exactly add up, but when you back out, you can see those lines really do exist. What is that? What is that? Wow, did I get... I'm zoomed in on this? This uniformitarianism argument, it says that the Grand Canyon took millions and millions of years to form. This is an old pole argument. I don't even know what this is. This, to be honest, did I go that far back? Oh yeah, this is the Randall Carlson stuff I put up on there. I'm just going to go through it real quick. Geodetic information. Ethan, you can't argue through that either. How do these ancient Egyptians and ancient Greeks have geodetic locations on their buildings that they couldn't have possibly have known? See, I don't know what angle you're coming from. I don't really know where you're coming from. But right here, you can see that the Pyramid of Giza is equivalent to the latitude and the longitude of the Earth. And yes, it's not a perfect sphere. And that's what makes the pyramid so special, is that it matches that specific difference. So I perfectly understand that the Earth is not a perfect sphere. And so do the people who built the Giza pyramids, especially the fact that it was located on the part of the equator that equated the speed of light. Makes me question whether or not these people were just hunter-gatherers. Yeah, this temple has geodetic correlation with the Earth itself. This is my Ancient Insights group. I'm just going through some pictures here. These timelines are quite interesting. I think we had some impacts about 9600 BC or 11600 BC, but also maybe 124. Here's another timeline that Randall Carlson got me. I don't know if he created this or if he just passed it along. I think he created that. He went through it. I think that looks like a snake head. So this is a long time ago. These are all the craters, and I believe that the richat structure, not the whole thing. And by the way, the location of the one there, I didn't make this. Somebody else did. This one doesn't belong there. It belongs not up there. It belongs over there. Well, I lost my viewers, and it's been an hour and 9 minutes. I didn't expect to last this long. I just wanted to do this video on the Klerksdorf spheres, the ones here, and I wanted to show those off, and I wanted to talk about them. I'm looking for a lot deeper information on these, where they're located and how they've been distributed in the places where they've been found. I mean, this is quite interesting. It almost looks too good to be true. But these are the photos I'm finding. So they're just basically out there and anybody can pick them up. And there's millions of them. I mean, honestly, if anybody can pick them up, there must be hundreds of thousands of them or millions of them, right? Because if it's something that's only got a few thousand, then they would have all been collected. But there's apparently a lot. So I'd like to know more about those. And this is the reason that inspired me to do this video. Even though I was intending on going through the Ancient Insights pictures one more time. Okay, Klerksdorf spheres. And they're very close. I mean, according to what I just found, that location was very close to the whole thing. So it brings this whole question. But it doesn't really have a correlation with the whole so-called ancient mining that went on. I'm sorry, did that sound too sure? What I meant is that could have gone on in this region. Anyways, Ethan, I don't know if you're still with me or not. I think that I'm about to finish this. And as far as your comments, Ethan, it really, when I look at this stuff, I'm not interested in arguing about it as much as questioning whether or not it's got any correlation to our human history or not. I mean, those lines right there are very parallel. To me, they look like score lines. And if they're supposed to break in half and release organisms into our Earth, then so be it. Mark Allen, where are you from? Yeah, I agree. This one doesn't look anything like the ones that are in the ground. So for all we know, this could be something completely different. Stuff that I find online doesn't always correlate with the truth. This one right here with the 3 lines in it could be totally different. And I can tell you that I've experienced it because they are... Well, I mean, when it comes to the South Africa information, I keep seeing information online that gets reorganized and classified in ways. For example, the location of Adam's calendar and the location of different things. They seem like they have a totally different reference than these so-called gold mines that I've seen. Whoops. New Hampshire. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Thank you for joining tonight. It's 9:30 tonight. It's Monday night. Wait, Tuesday night. Sorry. Tuesday night, 9:30. So your Tuesday is starting about... you're 9 a.m., right? 9:30 a.m.? That's the problem with Taiwan's location. I always had a big problem when I was doing sales. Communicating with Los Angeles was always tough. Because the people were always going home at 5 p.m. So you couldn't talk with them when they were going home, going to dinner. And so when they got to work in the morning, you try to talk to them, you're sleepy. And just like now, I'm getting sleepy. I've got a big day tomorrow. I'm looking for something to present. I guess I'll just click on these. I like this last one right here. This one's nice because it really shows you could dig and find a bunch of these. And these don't seem to have grooves around them. These seems like they've been in the ground. So the question is some of them are not in the ground. They were deeper in the ground. I mean, if you dig deeper, are they in a different situation? Can you find some? Because these look like they're corroded. And yeah, they look like perfect spheres to me. And when I say perfect spheres, I mean 99% perfect. Some of them are a little more perfect than others, but they could have been corroded. They look like corroded metal. That's why when Ethan says that they are not metal, I question that, and I think that maybe we're looking at two different things. And I think it's a good form of misinformation. Because when you say, oh, this is not metal, and you look at it, and it looks like rusted metal, and then you show me something from New York and say, it's this. No, it's not that. It's not that. Oh, okay. Wang Rong Ao. What is that? Oh, your wife, Wang Rong Ao, is also Chinese. Well, I'd be very interested in talking to her, or demonstrating my Chinese. Sorry, I kicked the table. Demonstrating my Chinese capabilities. See, here we can see that there's a bunch of pieces that have just chipped right off, like the outer core just corroded. And a good question, because the History Channel show, I saw this on the History video today, 5-minute video, and most of it was talking about Mars. And they're talking about ancient aliens terraforming planets, and they had done it to Earth, and this is a good argument about that, they said. And according to some of the pictures, when you see sand inside metal, I think sand is a great way to store bacteria. Hey, by the way, isn't Wuhan the virus source? Are you worried at all about that? And how does your wife feel about that? Your wife is also from Wuhan, China? All right, I'm going to put on my shirt, and I'm going to just talk for now. I'm almost done. I'm looking at my room, my one bedroom here in Taipei. I'm looking at my situation, and I can see that I'm going to be sleeping soon on this nice relocated bed. I've reorganized my whole room. It's already looking more. It's looking more organized already. I don't know why I didn't do this. By the way, I didn't mention it until now. I just reorganized my whole room. My whole bedroom. I reorganized my bed location, and I put the computer back in the original location when I first moved here almost 3 years ago. I've been looking at this room for over 5 years because I got it through a friend. All right, I lost my guess. How many do I have? 3 viewers. I'm almost done here. I'm done. I'm done. I gotta go. Nice to meet you, Mark. I'd like to know more about your situation. Wayne, I think I lost you. I don't think you're here anymore. Thank you very much for your comments on our relationship between me and Ethan. Ethan, I know we've known each other for a long time. I don't think you're here anymore either because you haven't commented in a while. I think that we've only met like once maybe. And that's where we connected. Mandarin, of course. Disney just said that the Mandarin in Taiwan is totally different from the Mandarin in Chinese, and I do know that because I studied Mandarin from Beijing when I was in the military, and I've been speaking Chinese for 30 years now. I didn't get very good at it, in my opinion, because I'm kind of introverted, and I'm more interested in reading and writing, and the vocabulary in Chinese was kind of tough. I did try my best to learn that Mandarin from the military. And the problem is when I got to Taiwan in 1996, I just couldn't understand anything. Thank you, Mark. Okay, I'm out of here, guys. Thank you very much. It's been over an hour. We're talking about new stuff soon, I promise. I got some new stuff. Let's have a good evening. Thank you so much.